A 14-year-old just crushed up a pill she found in her mum's purse. She has no idea what's in it. She has no idea that 3 towns over, a man just died from the same drug. And she has no idea that this pill is cousins with a chemical so powerful, it once wiped out an entire city block. Today we're going through 7 levels of painkillers, starting with the pill in your kitchen drawer, ending with a substance so lethal, government agencies classify it as a potential weapon of mass destruction. And I promise you, by level 7, you will never look at a pill the same way again. Level 1, Paracetamol. This is the most taken drug on earth, more than aspirin, more than ibuprofen, paracetamol, Tylenol, Crocin, Calpol. There are probably 2 in your bag right now. Here's what almost nobody knows about it. Scientists, after 70 years of study, still cannot fully explain how it works. 70 years. We sent humans to the moon. We decoded the human genome. But this little white tablet, still a partial mystery. What we do know is that it quietly changes how your brain interprets pain signals. Not the pain itself, your brain's reaction to it. And that's exactly what makes it dangerous. Because paracetamol overdose is the most deceptively silent killer in medicine. You don't collapse. You don't feel it happening. Your liver just starts dissolving itself. By the time you feel sick, really sick, the damage is already done. Paracetamol sends more people to emergency liver transplant lists every year than almost any other drug. From something sitting next to your toothbrush, that's level 1. And we haven't even left the kitchen yet. Level 2, NSAIDs, Ibuprofen, Naproxen, Diclofenac. These are the drugs athletes live on. Sore knee, Ibuprofen. Gym injury, Ibuprofen. Bad period pain, Ibuprofen. They work by shutting down something called COX enzymes, the factories your body uses to produce inflammation. No factory, no inflammation, no pain. Brilliant in theory, but here's what the packaging doesn't tell you. Those same COX enzymes also protect your stomach lining. So every time you take ibuprofen without food, your stomach is essentially digesting a small piece of itself. Do that for months, bleeding ulcers. Do that for years, kidney failure. And research published in the last decade shows long-term NSAID use raises heart attack risk by up to 50%. These are the drugs people take like candy. The drugs parents give children without a second thought. The drugs sold in vending machines in some countries. Level 2 is hiding in plain sight. Level 3, weak opioids. This is where the story changes completely. Tramadol, codeine, tapentadol. The moment opioids enter the picture, we're no longer talking about blocking pain. We're talking about hijacking your brain's reward system. These drugs latch onto opioid receptors, the same receptors activated by heroin, and flood your system with artificial relief. Pain disappears, anxiety disappears, and for a brief moment, the world feels manageable. That feeling is the trap. Your brain remembers it, craves it. And quietly, without you noticing, it starts needing more just to feel normal. Codeine is in cough syrup. Cough syrup that teenagers started mixing with soda and candy. They called it lean, purple drank, scissorp. Artists made songs about it, millions streamed those songs, and then quietly, in the background, those same artists started dying from it. Tramadol, once marketed as the safe opioid, is now one of the most abused drugs across Africa and the Middle East. Entire generations are dependent on it, and doctors handed it out like it was harmless. It wasn't. Level 4, strong opioids and the crisis that broke America. OxyContin, hydrocodone, Percocet. This is where the story stops being about drugs and becomes about one of the greatest corporate crimes in history. In the 1990s, a company called Purdue Pharma invented OxyContin, and then they did something unforgivable. They sent salespeople to doctors across America with gifts, with data, with one simple message: this drug is not addictive, prescribe it freely. It was a lie. Doctors prescribed it for back pain, for dental work, for sports injuries. Patients trusted their doctors, and within months, millions of ordinary Americans were physically addicted to opioids. Construction workers, nurses, grandmothers, teenagers. When prescriptions stopped, because finally someone noticed, people went into agonizing withdrawal, and heroin dealers were waiting. 500,000 people died. 500,000, entire towns in Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, economically dead. Families destroyed across 3 generations. Purdue Pharma paid a fine. The Sackler family, who owned it, kept billions. And the drugs are still being prescribed today. Level 5. Morphine. Morphine is what doctors use when pain becomes incompatible with consciousness. Stage 4. Cancer, severe burns, battlefield trauma. When a soldier steps on a landmine, morphine is what keeps them alive long enough to reach a hospital. It is a genuinely miraculous drug, but morphine works by slowing everything down. Heart rate, breathing, brain activity, which means the gap between therapeutic dose and fatal dose is terrifyingly narrow. In palliative care, there is an uncomfortable ethical reality that doctors rarely discuss publicly. The morphine dose needed to control end-stage cancer pain is sometimes the same dose that gently stops the heart. Medicine. And the edge of something else. Level 6. Fentanyl 100 times stronger than morphine. In surgery, anesthesiologists measure fentanyl in micrograms. 1 microgram, 1/1,000,000th of a gram. That's how little it takes to work. And that's how little it takes to kill. Now here's where it gets horrifying. Illegal labs, mostly in China, mostly distributed through Mexico, figured out fentanyl was cheap to make and almost impossible to detect. So they started pressing it into fake Xanax pills, fake Adderall, fake OxyContin. Pills that look identical to real medication, and people who thought they were buying anxiety meds took one pill and never woke up. In the United States alone, over 70,000 people died from synthetic opioids in a single year. That's more than the entire Vietnam War. And the crisis is accelerating, because the cartels discovered something even worse than fentanyl. Level 7. Carfentanil. This drug was designed to sedate elephants. Not humans, elephants. An elephant weighing 6,000 kilograms. Carfentanil is 10,000 times stronger than morphine. Let me give you a number that will stay with you. A lethal human dose of carfentanil is approximately 20 nanograms. A nanogram is 1/1000th of a gram. You cannot see it. You cannot feel it. You cannot smell it. A single grain of table salt contains enough carfentanil to kill multiple people. DEA agents who handle it wear full hazmat suits, not gloves. Hazmat suits. Because skin contact alone can be fatal. In 2002, Russian special forces used an aerosolized carfentanil variant to end a hostage crisis in a Moscow theater. They pumped it through the ventilation system. It ended the crisis. It also killed 130 hostages. The rescue drug killed more people than the terrorists. NATO has studied it as a potential chemical weapon. The same family of chemicals as the pill in your bathroom cabinet. The same family. That's the scale. From a white tablet your mother gave you for a headache, to a substance that killed 130 people in a theater and is classified as a potential weapon of mass destruction. Every single level exists on the same chemical spectrum. Every single level is available, in some form, right now. The teenager from the beginning of this video, she's still out there, and nobody told her any of this. Now you know. If this video changed how you see something you thought was ordinary, share it with someone who needs to see it. Because the most dangerous drugs in the world aren't the ones that look scary. They're the ones that look harmless.